Hi everyone, welcome to the group and the video that hopefully you're starting off your membership with. This is as valuable as a whole year of membership in and of itself. Why do I say this? Because unknown beliefs are how Satan can keep you in bondage to something that isn't God's plan for you and you won't even realize it. This is a powerful exercise that will allow you to identify what is holding you back and change it immediately. Alright, so a few instructions before we get going. I'd like you to get something to write with. You'll want to remember the details of this. And actually, if you have a notebook that you can use solely for the Change Your Story material, that would be really fantastic because there's going to be a lot of things you're going to be learning that you'll probably want to retain and let sink in. The other thing I want you to do some thinking about is that the definition of prosperity. We're going to be doing some work around finances, and in a minute I'm going to ask you to think about a financial goal that you want to have in your life. And I want you to just keep in mind the definition that we use when we talk about prosperity. When we talk about prosperity, we are talking about having enough resources to complete the calling that God put on our life. Okay, so God, when you were born, when you were conceived, God started with a plan for your life. And there's a purpose He designed you for. And He crafted every part of your body to be perfect for that calling He's placed on your life. He also crafted it to be your highest joy to fulfill that calling, right? And so what we also know is that Satan will come in, and because he knows what that purpose is too, he starts at a very young age to put in beliefs and things that will keep you from that purpose, or wounded places that make you feel like, oh, I can't do this. This isn't actually what I was created for, whatever that may be. And so the purpose of that is to start getting at some of those unconscious beliefs that he probably placed in you before you were even really aware of it. But it's important to have your goal, and we're going to make it very concrete, but I want you to keep in mind that sometimes before we've done some healing in this area, our flesh can kind of get in the way of that. I don't want you to apologize or feel guilty for whatever that goal is that you write down, but I want you to submit it to God. All right? And if you're not sure if it's from God or not, go ahead and go with it. It's God's job to change your heart, okay? But I want you to keep that in mind about prosperity. We're not talking about millions of dollars, although that might be God's plan for some of you, and that might be what you want. If that's what you want right now, write it down. But keep in mind that we want God's plan for us. That's the one that leads to abundance. All right. Okay, as far as possible, I want you to find a comfortable, private space where you can relax. And as far as possible, get rid of any distractions. Turn off your cell phone, close out your email, turn off Facebook, things like that. If someone said, what I have to tell you is going to change the course of your life forever, you'd pay attention. That's what I'm saying to you, okay? Get as comfortable as possible, have something to write with, get rid of distractions. And now I want you to invite God into this process. And it can be a quick thing in your heart. Ask Him to speak to you through this, and make your heart open to what He has to say. And I'd also suggest that you ask Him to make you closed off to what He doesn't have to say. So if something comes to mind where Satan's kind of attacking you or trying to whisper a lie in your mind while you do this exercise, I'd ask God to make you aware of that as well. Now, I want you to start thinking about a concrete fruit or result that you'd like to see in your finances. So an example of that might be to get out of debt, make $10,000 a month, to stop worrying or feeling fearful about finances. All of those are good options. And write that down and make it concrete, something that you can measure, like you'll know when this happens. Now I want you to name 3 to 5 people you know who have met that goal. You may know them or you may not know them personally. They may be somebody famous or somebody in your family. Examples of that might be Oprah, Suze Orman, Dave Ramsey, or Uncle Tom. This allows your brain to start thinking of this as possible and immediately starts to build new pathways in your brain. So basically what we know about neuroscience is that we have just tons and tons and tons of pathways in the brain. And the old pathways are part of what gets you the fruit that you have. So this exercise is designed to start building new pathways in your brain, and thinking of people who have done what you want immediately starts your brain thinking in terms of possibility. Now, complete the following sentence with as many reasons as come to mind. I can't meet my goal because. So what comes to mind is the reasons that you can't get that goal that you want in your life. In this step, you're identifying your conscious limiting beliefs. We aren't going to go after these because you already know these. They aren't the main problem. We need to get to the unconscious beliefs, and the good news is that your conscious beliefs always lead the way to your unconscious beliefs. We're going to keep moving, but if you didn't have time to write all of them down, you can come back to this step and finish or pause. You're going to find that all of those reasons that you wrote down are going to fall into one or all of the following categories. I'm not worthy, they wouldn't want me, or if I try, I'll fail. So you might find that if I try, I'll fail, basically everything you wrote down was a form of that. Or some of you might have all of these in some form or fashion, but you'll probably see that one was dominant. But first, I want to go over a little education before we go on next, okay? There are 5 types of brain waves. As some of you may know already, the human brain has gamma, beta, alpha, theta, and delta waves. While all of these waves are active at any given time in the day, one's going to be more dominant than another for particular tasks. Gamma waves are used for learning, memory, and information processing. Beta waves are used in conscious thought, logical thinking, and tend to have a stimulating effect. So if you are interested in neuroscience, this might be very stimulating. You might be in beta waves right now. Alpha waves bridge the gap between conscious and unconscious thought. It helps us relax when necessary and promotes feelings of deep relaxation. Theta waves are used in daydreaming and sleep, and these waves are the primary waves in a child's brain. These waves mean that there aren't logical walls or blocks in place, and these enable children to learn a great deal. Delta waves are involved in the deepest restorative sleep. Today we're going to focus on theta waves. These are the waves that help us get in touch with our unconscious. So part of this exercise is going to be designed to get your brain operating with those theta waves dominant. And with this information in mind, go ahead and place your pen and paper aside. If possible, if you're in a private place where you feel comfortable, close your eyes and focus your attention on your breath. As you inhale, I want you to focus your intention on breathing in the Holy Spirit, inviting Him in with your breath. As you invite Him in, remember that He's a gentleman. He's not going to push you beyond what you're willing to receive, okay? As you exhale, focus on breathing out anything in your mind or body that's painful. That means that you exhale worries, physical pain, questions about the future, things like that. If there's a part of your body that hurts, picture the inhalation of the Spirit as moving to that part of your body and nurturing it. As you exhale, picture the pain leaving with your breath. If at any point you notice your mind starting to spin, just bring your attention back to the inhale of love, power, and peace. You may start to notice that your body feels more relaxed, maybe warmer with your limbs feeling a little heavier than normal. Now as you continue to breathe deeply, I want you to bring your attention to the goal you listed earlier. And as you think of that goal, I want you to imagine that you see a small photo a few inches in front of your face. In this photo, I want you to imagine what it feels like to work hard toward the financial goal you want, to strive for it, long for it, and not obtain it. What picture do you see? Take a moment to look at all the details. And the chances are the photo feels and looks very familiar. It's what you've been living up until now. Now I want you to picture God entering the scene. He tells you that this picture isn't his plan for you, and the unconscious belief you identified has been a lie from the pit of hell. He shares that Satan has known what God's plan for you looks like, and from the moments of your first breath, it's been his goal to attack this plan and keep it from happening. He asks you if you'd like to see what his plan for you looks like. If you're willing to consider that this unconscious belief is in fact a lie and allow him to speak the truth to you, just whisper that or just say it in your mind. Picture yourself saying that to God. You may feel yourself filling with hope and excitement at this point. Some of you may feel hesitant, with your mind arguing against this idea. If that's the case, I encourage you to be curious. Your intellect can sort through the details and make a decision later. For now, allow yourself to be moved by the idea that life is meant to be abundant and full for you. At this point, God whispers for you to look past this photo in front of you and notice that off to the right or left, out in the distance a bit, there's another photo. This one appears to be living and moving, almost like a small movie screen. God whispers that this photo is what it looks like for you to be living in your goal, to be living in his plan for you. Look closely at the photo and notice what you feel. Maybe a warm flush runs over you, maybe a thrill of excitement, but allow yourself to notice it and accept it. Now I want you to take notice that the picture of God's reality starts to move slowly towards you. Maybe with several starts and stops, maybe for others of you it moves pretty quickly and steadily. But just watch it move closer until it's parallel with the picture that's right in front of you. God whispers that it's your choice. Which picture do you want? He asks if he can change your reality. The moment you even think yes, even before you speak it, God claps his hand with a sound that reverberates through your body, and the moment he claps, the photo of his plan snaps into place directly in front of your eyes. You now see front and center this picture of his abundant life for you, this goal you long for, a reality. You notice the picture of your life up until this point, the picture of your futility, this plan of Satan's to hold you back. It starts to drift off into the distance, and as it drifts away, the paper gets thinner, and eventually it fades into nothingness. Take a moment to notice how you feel and what has shifted in your body and heart. Then as you're ready, come back to awareness of the room and open your eyes. As you complete this exercise, I'd encourage you to stay in place and write down what shifted in you during this exercise. Allow it to settle. Write down your goal and be ready to track it as you move through the Change Your Story material. Post your goal in the group so we can be praying and cheering you on. Welcome to Change Your Story.